Hey guys, MCU Collector here with a new video, and finally, I know it's been a few days, I just had a lot going on, was kind of tired, so here I bring you guys the new SH Figuarts Anti-Ock Suit Spider-Man from the PS4 video game. So when you get the figure, it is a Tamashii web exclusive or whatever it is, no US release, did get the Japan release, so it comes in a brown shipper box like so that says Spider-Man Anti-Ock Suit, and then not really a whole lot going else. And then it comes in a box, no window display box or anything. It's just a box with it inside there. You have a look at some of the poses that he can do. A lot of information. It's all in Japanese and whatnot. But here we go. So I already took the figure out of the package because I wanted to see what it's like. You know, and it's not like a Marvel Legends one where, you know, it's a pain in the ass to put back in or anything like that. So pretty good looking figure. We'll take a look at its articulation, the accessories, and then how he compares to some other SH Figuarts Spider-Man figures, and naturally, of course, the advanced suit from the same game. So let's take a look at some of those accessories. Okay, so in terms of accessories, we're not getting anything really new. We get additional set of hands, so wall crawling, thwipping, open hands, web holding hands, and I guess just other like open hands with his hands a little bit smaller. We get another interchangeable head that has his lenses squinted out a lot more than this one, and then we get all these different web things. You know, we got the piece that can remove the back piece, so you can put them on a SH Figuarts stand, but all the same web pieces that we've seen over and over again with all the SH Figuarts, so nothing new. What I will say though is these webs are just a straight white kind of shiny plastic, so it doesn't really look like a web. When I think of Spider-Man webs, I almost think kind of like a little bit of a translucent white color. These are just white plastic, so not bad. It's just they kind of stand out to me. But let's take a closer look at this figure. Okay, so here's an up-close look at the Anti-Ock Suit Spider-Man figure. So for those of you that have not played the game, spoiler warnings, because it'll give away some stuff. And if you haven't played the game by now, what is wrong with you? Stop what you're doing. Go buy the game. It's like $20 for the Game of the Year edition. That includes all the DLC. Please go buy it. Play the game. It is such an awesome game. The Miles Morales version is going to be coming out later this year. Spider-Man sequel, because the Miles Morales isn't technically a sequel. It's a full game, but not a sequel. That will hopefully be coming out soon. It's just an awesome game, awesome narrative. So everything about it I just really like. But anyway, the Anti-Ock Suit Spider-Man. So if in the game, you know that this suit is based on the technology of Doc Ock's tentacles, his arms. So Peter Parker uses that technology to make a suit so he can actually fight against Doc Ock. It's a really awesome scene. It's pretty powerful. I really enjoyed it. I watched it again on YouTube, kind of the ending of that. Just really amazing. So that's why this suit looks the way it does, to give you guys a heads up. So the paint apps of this yellow is good throughout. As you can see, we kind of get some throughout the legs, along the arms, along the back. All came out looking really good. Now we get a couple of different colors in here. So it looks like the base is basically like this matte gray color here. Then we get a lot of this kind of shiny metallic black here on the legs, the chest, the arms, and the head. So that all looks really, really good. So typical SH Figuarts, they got a lot of articulation, so they got some weird, really, really weird cuts. So you could see there, same thong that all the other SH Figuarts Spider-Mans have, as you can see there, as you can see there, as you can see there. So it's just how they do it because of the articulation. They want to kind of keep things, I don't know, it's just really weird. And then one thing, the legs are quite larger compared to the rest of his body, so the proportion of it's just a little bit odd, and that's something that I just kind of noticed a little bit more and more. You know, I don't have a problem with it on the Far From Home Spider-Man. Stealth Suit Spider-Man, it's not really an issue, but on the PS4 GamerVerse Spider-Man, he definitely has bigger legs as well, so it's just interesting how they did that. Let's zoom out, look at his articulation. Okay guys, so I'm a Legends guy, so the premium import articulation is difficult for me, so bear with me. Okay, Spider-Man can look all the way up. He can look all the way down. So there's the hinge on the head, And then the neck also has its own separate point of articulation there. So you can see you can get full rotation, so all your pivot and everything. So if you move the neck forward and move the head down, you can get him to look down that much, which looks a little unnatural. And then looking up, you know, that neck isn't really going to go a whole lot back because of obviously the back piece. So the shoulders have a butterfly joint, which gives you all kinds of range of motion pivot. So it's kind of like on a ball peg. I'm not sure exactly what it is inside there, but you can get a lot of circular motion in there. Like you can move the arm itself within the butterfly joint, and then the butterfly joint as well. So you can get a really good crossbody going with the figure. Going back, it's not going to be nearly as much, but again, that's why you kind of get the pivot right at the shoulder where it meets that butterfly joint. But you can get it to move up, you can get it to move down, so that's what the added benefit there really is. There's no bicep swivel on this guy, so that's why you kind of get the turn there, so you can get all kinds of weird stuff going there. You get a double jointed elbow, as you can see, which gives you a great bend there. The wrists are on a ball peg, so they swivel, they can get into all kinds of different motion there. The web shooter piece is a separate piece between the wrist and the hand. There is a diaphragm joint up at the top, so he can move back that much. He can move forward that much just on the diaphragm joint itself. So you get some pivot going on to the side that way. Pivot. Oh, he doesn't really want to pivot the other way. That's weird. So he can pivot one side pretty good, but can't seem to pivot to that side for some reason. There is like an ab crunch or another diaphragm waist type joint there, so you can get some other movement. So you can get him to go forward that much in total. You can get him to go back that much in total. There is a little bit of a turn, and you can get 2 points of turn. So at this waist one and then the top chest one. So that's how you can get him to do those turning motions there. The legs can do a full split, so that is great. You can't get forward that high. There's no drop down on this one though. I guess maybe that's more of a Mafex thing. You can get the leg to go back pretty far. There is an upper thigh cut there. You get a double jointed knee. Here's the thing, ankle pivot is decent. I guess you can move down a little bit, not a whole lot. You can move up, hardly anything. There is some pivot, but not anywhere near Marvel Legends level of pivot. And then you have toe articulation there. So pretty good articulation. It's just all about moving these legs in these crazy ways, whereas, you know, that's something Legends previously could not do, but, you know, that retro Spider-Man, we can get all kinds of movement going on in there. So that is his articulation. Now let's see how he compares to some other SH Figuarts Spider-Man figures side by side. Okay, so here is the Anti-Ock suit next to the PS4 Gamer Advanced suit, next to the Far From Home Night Monkey Stealth suit, and the Far From Home upgraded suit. Out of these four, I will say that the Far From Home suit Spider-Man is my favorite, because proportionately I just think he looks the best. He just doesn't have these large legs compared to the rest of his body, so this one's definitely my favorite. Stealth suit's probably my second favorite for the same thing. The sculpt, MCU, I'm biased. It is what it is. We'll move on. But looking at the two GamerVerse figures, and they look very, very good together. It looks like the Anti-Ock suit is a little bit taller, which would make sense because it's an armored suit versus a regular suit, so it could add a little bit of height to him, I guess. At least kind of that's my justification going for it there. As you can see, it's a fairly large difference, so I'm not sure kind of what was going on there with SH Figuarts. But they do look really good. You know, we get the same spider logo, obviously, because, you know, Doc Ock helped him design this, so then he just designed this suit to go over that suit, because in the battle, you know, it gets broken away and stuff, and then this suit is exposed underneath it. So it looks really good. Now let's zoom in to take a look at how some of these accessories work with the new figure. Okay, so we get one interchangeable head. As you can see here, the lenses are squinted down. So with the SH Figuarts, the way they do these heads to be interchangeable, they just sit on like this block looking thing. It's got some weird pattern. And then the head, you just rest it right on top. So quick and easy to change out. No worried about breaking any pegs or anything like that. You can see it's squinted down. I much rather prefer the large wide lens compared to the squinted lens, as you can see there. But you guys let me know which one you guys like more and why it won't go in focus. But yeah. Okay, so let's talk changing out the hands. The hands are very small, so do be careful with that. It just pops off like so. And as you can see there with the hand, you got the web shooter piece that's there. It just comes off, so don't lose that. Actually, we should actually keep that on, shouldn't we? So let's keep that on the wrist peg there. You can see it's a very small peg, so be very, very, very careful. Let's get some whip hands going. And then you could just port on the hands like so. So again, be careful when switching out the hands. And again, as far as the hands, you know, we get the wall crawling hands, as you can see here. We get whipping hands, as you can see here. We get these open, I guess it could be kind of holding hand. He can't really grip anything there, but that's what we get. Here is the web holding hand. As you can see, it kind of has a thumbs up. There is a peg hole inside there that you can actually use for web pieces, as you can see there if it wants to get in zoom and focus. And then we have the open hand, as you can see there. And then out of the package, he comes with the fist hands already on the figure. Okay, to show you how that works with the web holding, here we have the web, which is again just done in a bright white plastic. You could just port that right on in there, and it looks like, you know, he is holding onto web, and you can have him swinging and doing whatever cool little thing you want with the web effect. Oh, and I don't want to forget this other piece. So you can have it to where it looks like, you know, he's holding the web and it's kind of got that dangling piece of web. So you can port this one in there, and as you can see, there is that little peg right there. So you can peg it into the bottom of his hand, because, you know, he's holding the web, and then with the two together, it actually looks like he's holding on to that web. So that's something new. I think this came with, I don't know, it's probably come with all these Spider-Mans, but the Homecoming Spider-Man figures definitely didn't have this piece here, so it's fairly new. Okay, and then another thing we have going on here is some of these web pieces that will actually clip onto these wrist pegs. So as you can see, that's kind of how it would look. So it looks like the web's actually coming from the web shooter, you know, using the whipping hand. So to do that, and it doesn't fit on nearly as snug because there's so much going on with this wrist peg. You have the web shooter that's just kind of dangling there. You can push that down as much as you can, but it's still kind of tough. And the web piece, you just put that over the peg, and just hopefully it stays there, and then put the hand on while not moving that ball peg. Port it on. It's just sometimes a pain in the ass, and it's not as snug a fit as you would hope. As you can see there, it just looks like there's just too much going on for how they want these wrists. This floating web shooter piece should have just been sculpted as part of the forearm, but it is what it is. I think I always forget to mention this, but these import figures come with instructions to make sure that you don't kind of mess up what you got going on. But it shows all the different interchangeable hands, as you can see. And then it talks about how to switch the heads, open that back port so you can use, you know, the stand, and then how the web pieces work together, the different web lines, and putting them over the wrist, that kind of thing. Most of it is in Japanese. Almost all of it is in Japanese. You see some things like choose and attach right there. So they included it, so just make sure to give it a once over. Okay, so that is my review. You guys let me know down in the comments below what you think of the figure. I think it's really good. Is it worth the close to $100? I actually paid over $100 for it. Is it worth it? If you're a real big fan of the game, yes, probably. But if I could do it all over again, would I? I don't know that I would. I'm very happy with my Advanced Suit PS4 Spider-Man figure. I have the Select, I have the Legends. You know, was this one necessary? Maybe not, but I'm just kind of like, well, I need to get every GamerVerse Spider-Man figure there is, and that's kind of why I got that. But you guys let me know what you think of it. If you guys like the video, please hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you haven't already done so, and as always, thank you for watching.